asking for a big voice today, so luckily. So the handle I was given was Nick Elston, the anxiety guy, which I'll take as a compliment, so I get called a lot worse than that. But actually it's all based on my own experiences. I'm not a professional, anything come to that, I'm not a professional anything, but it's based on my own experiences of childhood OCD and actually how that was unsuccessfully treated and how that morphed then into something called GAD, which is Generalised Anxiety Disorder. And actually that's more common, but less commonly known. And then as life went on, it was only kind of going back 4 years ago now that I decided to address this. Any Harry Potter fans here? Great, good company. So it's the boggle in the cupboard, do you know what I mean? That thing you kept in for so long. Actually, the only way I felt I could get out this was to let it out into the public arena. I use public speaking to do that, which is quite a weird thing because it's a bigger fear than death. But it kind of worked, which is cool. Has anybody here read a book by Dr. Steve Peters called The Chimp Paradox? Okay, great, so I'm not going to do it any justice. So basically what he says is that the human has 3 minds. It has the chimp, which is the fight or flight state. It has the computer, which is stored memory and experience. And it has the human, which tries to rationalise everything. And unfortunately for us as humans, it runs in that order. So if you've got a caveman faced with a big woolly mammoth, the chimp goes, I'm not going to swear at him. The chimp goes, it's a mammoth, what am I going to do? The computer says you've stood and you've fought and you've won before. You'll stand and you'll fight and hopefully win. However, if the computer says you got mauled by one of these before, you'll run like hell the other way. The human only kicks in after all of this has happened to try and rationalise what's gone on. And actually, if you bring that through to modern day experience, if you have a row with your significant other and you say something that's just too much, maybe just too mean, way out of proportion, and then the human bit is when I actually think, I didn't say that, did I? And we've all been there because there's lots of nodding heads on this already. So we're kind of screwed from the start because as humans we need to fight our subconscious to maintain our grip on positive mental health and actually to manage anxiety. So what I want to share is just a few things on how I've managed to disrupt my anxiety using something I've labelled as cold processes. Now cold processes to me are basically things that you can do which takes away the emotion out of everything that's going on in your life for you to truly evaluate what's going on. The first thing I want to do, if you don't take anything else apart from this, please do this. It's called a worry journal. Write down every single thing that you are worried about. On day 1 I had 128 entries. I was a very worried person. The important part is actually to realise what's going on in your head, because if you just think about stuff, it goes round to fire. If you write it down, there's a therapeutic process going on there, but also make a note on your to-do list to follow up in 2 weeks' time and to see how much has actually happened. Mark Twain says some of the worst things in my life never actually happened, and we all do that. When I check back in 2 weeks' time, out of 128 things that actually I was worried about, how many actually happened? None. Which means that after maybe 2 weeks, I was worried about thousands of things that never actually were going to happen. You need to check what's going on in your own head. Another thing I want to talk about is intentions, checking your intentions while you do things. If you take jealousy as a cold process, for example, because anxiety eats into every single part of your life, you just don't label it as anxiety. So if you look at jealousy, for example, the cold process of jealousy is you have somebody who's fighting very, very passionately, very, very intensely for something that they love. But actually, as a result, they're pushing that thing away, which fuels that process. When's the last time you stopped to check your intentions? So if you are aiming for a Maserati, you want a new Maserati, I guarantee you within 2 weeks of having a Maserati, it'll just be a car. You'll want something else. You're always waiting for the perfect moment for things. If you're chasing a 10-bedroom house, and you've got a 5-bedroom house already and you don't go in one of those rooms, you'll have 6 rooms you're not going to go in. So when's the last time you actually stopped to check the intentions of what you're actually pushing for? The next thing I want to talk about is gratitude, which actually is the single biggest thing that changed my life. Because what you're doing is you're training your mind to look for the positive throughout the day. And that's difficult. But actually, your life can be changed by daily incremental changes. So how you do this is, it sounds fluffy. If you would have told me 4 years ago I was speaking to you lot about gratitude and stuff, I would have told you to do one, to be fair. But before you go to sleep every night, just make a list of 10 things that you've loved about the day. It sounds weird, but trust me, it works. Because what you do actually is day after day, you are training your brain to look for the positive, because instead of looking out for the negative stuff, the problem with anxiety and depression and low self-esteem and low self-worth is you get in that state of mind where your brain looks to reaffirm what you're going through. So if you're changing your thoughts to positive ones, it works the same way. I think the scientific term is called the reticular activator. It's the same as if I tell you red lorry, red lorry, red lorry, the next time you see a red lorry, you'll think of this. Your brain is looking to affirm what's going on in your own head. You also get to know what you appreciate and what you love, and that's actually really powerful because we spend a lot of time thinking about what we hate and what annoys us. And actually the thing with immersion, what you immerse yourself in is kind of what you become. If you look at things like social media is the biggest source of anxiety between 18 and 29-year-olds. However, the really messed up thing is the biggest source of community between 18 to 29-year-olds. So therefore, we can disrupt our anxiety by deciding where we immerse our attention and where we belong and where we live. You choose what enters into your mind. Because I guarantee you, if you do something consistently for 21 days, you look for the positive for 21 days, it becomes a habit. It's very, very hard then to come back from that. And as I said, I'm only speaking from experience, but I guarantee these things do work. Who here procrastinates? Yeah, everyone. See, the problem with anxiety and procrastination is it goes hand in hand, and every time you delay something, so we've all got these nice CRM systems and to-do lists and stuff, they've also got a nice shiny button that says delay for 24 hours. And every time you click that thing, it builds up a tidal wave of anxiety in your head. Because we all know that to put something off, it seems far worse to do that thing than actually have done it. You take my fence panels at home. When I was asked if I could paint my fence panels, I was planning JCBs, weeks off of work, and it actually took an hour when I got around to it, because in my head I didn't want to do it. So it seems so much more of a hassle to actually get around to do it. The problem you've got is if you're doing this daily, you are constantly dreading the future. Constantly. So by using things like to-do lists and getting stuff done, you can actually ease your anxiety, and that's how weird it's that. There's no real tie-up, we never see that mentioned anywhere. Procrastination is really key. And actually that leads me nicely on to kind of the final point I want to make about this really. The one thing that's kind of carried me through everything over the past 4 years is actually when somebody asked me to define what anxiety was to me, it was very easy to define. It was fear of the future or regret from the past. But actually then I realised there was a nice sweet spot of today. And this was before I'd even heard of things like mindfulness. It's kind of an elongated version of mindfulness. Basically, it's living in the present mindfulness. So what I was doing was just living in day-type compartments. You'll get to know me, I'm a very honest, open guy. I found 2 lumps. We had lunch yet? That's cool. I found 2 lumps. 1 lump where no lump should be, and then another lump where only 2 lumps should be. Is that clean enough for... Yeah, right. Either way, my chip was going, you're going to die. Well, I kind of knew I was going to die, but for the first time in my life, I questioned my mortality, and that's really an eye-opener. And actually, if I wasn't working on myself and using all these tips and tricks and stuff that I've only learned through trial and error, lots of error, then I wouldn't be in a position to put this thing into place. Because between that day where I found the 2 lumps and from the time I got the all clear, it was 422 days of my life I would have written off to worry, because that's what we do. We kind of man cave it, or the woman, it's a female version of man cave. We've had this before, haven't we? She shed. We basically lock the gate, put the curtains down, do whatever you do that makes you happy, and that's what we do. We write off our lives to wait for that perfect moment. I guess what I want to leave you with is this. Don't cut off your lives to the perfect moment. Start today. You can change everything in your life by actually putting in daily incremental changes. Very, very simply. Very, very simply you can change things. Then become a habit. So that, in my experience, is how you disrupt your anxiety. Thank you very much.